focuses on freedom, rights and democracy. The number of presidential aspirants increases to 15 in Zanzibar. And in sport, new signing Carlinhos refused offers from Portugal and opted to join Yanga Sports Club. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Vanessa Victor. Let's get started with the national news. ACT Wazalendo Party has launched its 2020 election manifesto, which outlines 11 priorities on freedom, rights and democracy that aim to develop various economic sectors and the lives of Tanzanians. Speaking after the launching of the manifesto, the presidential candidate of ACT Wazalendo, Bernard Membe, pledged to implement it should he be voted in as leader of the country.
Naahidi kuieneza ilani hii kwa Watanzania kwa muda wa miezi miwili.
I pledge to disseminate this manifesto to Tanzanians in a period of 2 months. I believe that they will understand it, and choosers where I come from have their own manifesto, and it is only 30% of the manifesto has been implemented. And I believe that even their votes will not be more than 30%. The first thing to implement on our side is to restore freedom of democracy and rights. This manifesto directs nullification of laws that prevents freedom.
Jambo la kwanza, uhuru.
We all know that the level of employment in this country has decreased due to poor economy, shutdown of businesses and factories from both elites and non-elite citizens. What Tanzanians need is a manifesto that can be fulfilled and bring hope to Tanzanians.
Kuchunguza matukio yote ya utekaji, mauaji, watu kupotea, watu kubambikiwa kesi.
The presidential aspirants in Zanzibar from Tanzania Labour Party TLP and Union for Multi-Party Democracy UMD have collected their nomination forms at the Electoral Commission's office, bringing the number of aspirants to 15 who have collected nomination forms thus far, with the aspirant from Chadema expected to collect his form on Wednesday.
Lakini elimu imewekwa nyuma sana. Sisi kama TLP tunakwenda kusimamia.
Education has not been prioritized. What we are going to do as a party is to empower teachers and make more desks, because a lot of students are still sitting on the floor because there are not enough desks.
Ajira kwanza ni kitu ambacho cha muhimu.
Employment is most important and it is fundamental. So if you provide employment, everything falls into place.
Kwamba zaidi ya kitu katika ajira zangu nitakazoziweka ni masuala ya uchumi wa bahari.
The presidential candidate from Chadema Party, Tundu Lissu, has said Tanzanians who elect him as president, he will improve relations between Tanzania and various nations, amend tax systems and ensure the mineral and tourism sectors grow. Tundu Lissu made the statement at Relini Grounds in Arusha at the party's election campaign.
After the people of Arusha and the rest of other Tanzanians have chosen me on 28th of October, my first agenda to implement will be to restore Tanzania's relations with the rest of the world, especially our neighbors in East Africa, because by doing so, Arusha region will be highly empowered and recover its title of Geneva of Africa. When I was young, Arusha was the capital city of tourism in East Africa, if not Africa as a whole. Arusha as a region, together with the northern zone, benefited a lot from tourism activities. Right now, only a few are enjoying the joy of tourism, while many have been affected by low tourism activities. Time has come for people from the north, whether you are within or outside the zones, to lead your fellow Tanzanians on 28th of October to give your votes to Chadema party. Politics is about our lives. For 5 years, we have not spoke with people in Arusha or anywhere else in the country. For 5 years, citizens have been denied to know much about their political parties and their manifestos, so that when election comes, they will be able to choose leaders they want and they are aware of.
Chama cha Mapinduzi CCM has announced the names of candidates of the Council of Representatives in Zanzibar from 50 constituencies and special seats, pledging to conduct civilized campaigns during the general election. The Secretary of Ideology and Publicity from CCM, Humphrey Polepole, announced the names in Dodoma region to members of the media.
Tunafuata ratiba ya tume ya uchaguzi Zanzibar.
We are following the timetable that was given by Zanzibar Electoral Commission, ZEC. Today, we have fulfilled terms given in Zanzibar by nominating CCM candidates. Meanwhile, our call to CCM candidates, leaders, attendants, and members to ensure that we abide to rules and regulations and respect Zanzibar's constitution. We have about 76 lawyers at Zanzibar High Court who will work on all legal matters.
Ikiwemo kujaza form.
The police force in MWANZA region has arrested 4 people allegedly for colluding to kill Andrew Magai, a farmer from Chibasi village, an incident which occurred on the 25th of August this year.
Jeshi la polisi mkoa wa MWANZA linaendelea na jitihada za kuhakikisha kwamba usalama.
The police force in MWANZA is continuing with efforts to strengthen security in MWANZA region and is asking every citizen, including various institutions and politicians from all parties, not to engage in activities that could lead to disturbance of peace.
Ambao wamekamatwa na leo tumewafikisha mahakamani.
Those who have been arrested and today were arraigned in court are Magesa Simon alias Wile, Makanja Mgeta, Mkapa Magesa alias Simon, Celestine Datters. All mentioned suspects have been arraigned in court here in MWANZA.
Kama Simon, huyu ni mkazi wa kijiji kinaitwa Nyamanga.
And 5 people who include 2 foreigners, 2 employees from Equity Bank and the Assistant Registrar of Business Registrations and Licensing Agency, BRELA, have appeared in Kisutu Resident Magistrate Court to face 13 charges of economic sabotage, which include forgery and money laundering. The accused are businessmen Mohammed Noor, a South African national, Umker Mohammed, a Somalian national, Noel Shani, an employee from BRELA, Alex Ndondole and Ima Chikaonda, both employees of Equity Bank. The 5 are accused of using forged documents from the Board of Alliance Cargo Handling so that they can open a prestige account at Equity Bank, open a bank account at Amana Nyerere branch, and for money laundering of more than $300,000. The accused have been returned to police remand custody, and the case will come for mention on September 7th of this year. And the Higher Education Students' Loan Board has extended the deadline for application for students' loan for another 10 days, as many of the applications received has shown various shortcomings. This was revealed at the ongoing Higher Education Fair taking place at Mnazi Moja grounds in Dar es Salaam.
Tushafanya mingine na wenzetu kwa mfano baraza la mitihani wanaunga moja kwa moja wakiomba.
We're in a good place with RITA so that in future there will be no need for students to do so, as this will be done directly. We insist that they should apply with the right details because the applications are part of payment of contracts, hence the need for correct information.
Wanapotuma kile cheti cha kihakikiwe wanatakiwa wakiskani alafu wakitume.
They must scan the certificate they are sending for verification. So you find one scans half of the page and some particulars are missing. For example, the entry number, which is very important, and without it, it is hard to verify the certificate.
Wameweza kufanya haya marekebisho na wamevituma tena.
Residents of Kosunga village in Handeni district, Tanga region, have urged the district commissioner to visit and assess challenges they face, including at the dispensary, which does not have electricity, whereby the doctor in charge is forced to use a torch from his cell phone to attend to patients.
Would like if you can come and visit us if you get the opportunity, because there is a dispensary that gets flooded and the road is impassable. We are right at the middle with nowhere to go. Kwasunga village has been listed in rare phase 3 stage 2. We will go to other areas too. The people want to see action and not just words. We cannot just sit at the office, yet the people are facing a lot of challenges.
That's the end of the national news. International news is next. In international news, President Uhuru Kenyatta of Kenya has commended efforts being taken by Kenyans in fighting the coronavirus pandemic. However, speaking during the virtual COVID-19 conference on Monday, the president warned it was too soon to celebrate the achievement and that Kenyans must remain cautious.
I want us all to do a post-mortem analysis of how we have handled the COVID-19 crisis 6 months after it began to manifest itself in our country. Begin by looking at the forecasting of the spread of the virus. If all our models had projected severe scenarios that did not happen, was it because we were forewarned, or was it because of the swift interventions that we put in place? How does our national response compare with others within the region, the continent, and the world? Is there something that we could have done better? And are there lessons we should carry with us to the strategic phase of this war?
In Goma, Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, residents have started to get electricity services after being without power for a long time.
Electricity does help us in doing so many things. Our homes and offices will be lightened. Electricity will put a lot of things at ease as well as facilitate developments in Congo.
Member of Parliament in Uganda, Robert Kyagulanyi, popularly known as Bobi Wine, has said that President Yoweri Museveni's administration is doing all it can to make sure he does not contest the presidential election next year.
Challenges we have faced ever since I announced
The challenges we have faced ever since I announced my plans to run for presidency in 2021 are due to the poor leadership of President Museveni. Anyone who has tried to rise up against the regime has been dealt with the same way. They rely on violence and intimidation.
Bribe and co-opt their opponents. They rely on intimidation and violence.
That's where we leave off with international news. Business news is next.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to the digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production, infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and in business news. The Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange has said that government bonds have continued to perform well at the stock market after transactions worth 1.4 trillion shillings were done this year compared to 1.1 trillion shillings last year.
Na kwa hivyo biashara katika miamala ya hatifungani ambazo ni dhamana za serikali.
In business, in treasury bonds, transactions which are government transactions from the beginning of this year to now, we have 1.4 trillion in transactions conducted in the market in comparison to the whole of last year, which was 1.1 trillion shillings. And in 2018, it was only 1 trillion. So you can see, despite it only being August, the sales conducted in treasury bonds are already larger than those conducted in 2019.
Yaliyofanyika kwa mwaka mzima wa mwaka 2019.
The Minister of Industry and Trade in Zanzibar, Ambassador SALAAM Ali, has said that the Isles government is determined to ensure it puts in place infrastructure and industrial parks, while the President of Zanzibar Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture, Tufik Turki, says investors still face obstacles that need to be addressed.
We should be quick to receive investors and give them proper instructions, as well as make decisions on the spot when required, because delays lead to the investors' disappointment, and considering that we are competing with others in the world, we must be fast. Infrastructure, policies, laws, regulations clash. If you look at the majority of Zanzibaris, we are not like the others. We have not started using resources.
Tanzania Investment Center TIC has urged local investors to recognize opportunities in the country so that they can become more competitive against foreign investors.
We raise understanding and knowledge among entrepreneurs so that they can recognize the investment opportunities in the country are there for them. So we expect growth of business and business activities in this city to rise after this training. Firstly, I am very happy for the first TIC meeting to be held in Korogwe district. I have received the explanations from the district commissioner very well, and others in attendance have too.
That's all for business news. Sports is next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going being dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going being dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Joaquinho. He did lose to Lynn.
And now in sports. GSM's investment director Hersi Said has revealed new signing Kalinos refused offers from Portugal but opted to join Yanga Sports Club. Here's more.
The Angola international was brought on board to replace former Wananchi captain Papi Shishimbi, who opted against extending his stay at the club. The 27-time league champions official has now shed more light on the transfer, stating many did not expect the move to happen. In an initial interview, Hersi also revealed how bitter rivals SIMBA Sports Club tried to hijack the players' move to the Jangwani Street-based charges.
Dylan Kerr believes defender Joash Onyango is a good addition for Tanzania Mainland League champions SIMBA Sports Club. Here are more details.
The team has been restructuring for the new campaign and has been in the market for the established players. One of them is this 27-year-old Kenyan international. He has been a rock in the Gor Mahia defense in the recent past, leading them to back-to-back Kenyan Premier League KPL titles. The tactician has, however, warned Onyango against changing his style of play since it might not work for him, especially in a team with massive following and pressure from the fans.
Argentina's President Alberto Fernandez has called on Lionel Messi to return to his homeland and end his career with Newell's Old Boys.
Messi's future has dominated headlines over the past week after he handed in a shock transfer request at Barcelona. And the Camp Nou exit is now shrouded in controversy, with La Liga recently declaring the Argentine attacker isn't allowed to leave the club for anything short of his mammoth 700 million euros release clause. Despite that, a number of clubs continue to be linked with moves for Messi, with Manchester City leading the race, but Paris Saint-Germain, Inter and Juventus also linked with interest. At 33 years of age and on the back of another strong season individually, Messi can still clearly compete at a top European club, but that hasn't stopped Argentinians dreaming of a possible homecoming.
Manchester United are closing in on the signing of Ajax midfielder Donny van der Beek after reaching an agreement over a fee with the Dutch Giants.
It is understood the deal is worth around £40 million, and the 23-year-old is close to becoming Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first signing of the summer transfer window once personal terms and medical are completed. United have been monitoring the Netherlands international for a while as they look to strengthen their midfield options and firmed up their interest when it became clear that Van der Beek was keen on a move to Old Trafford. There were reports of some late interest from Tottenham, but it is understood United were always leading the race.
On Sunday, Lyon wrote their names into history again by winning their 5th Women's Champions League, the UWCL title, in a row, beating Wolfsburg 3-1 in Bilbao.
Every time this team steps on a pitch, they seem to set new records. No one has played in more semi-finals, more finals, or won more UWCL titles in history than them, a record they have now extended from 6 to 7. No club has won more matches in the competition, no club has won more games in the competition, no club has scored more goals in that same competition. This period of dominance that Lyon are enjoying will go down in history as one of the greatest eras for not just a football team, but a team in any sport, and many of the players involved over the last 5 years will go down as some of the greatest to play the game.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin. On behalf of everyone who worked to bring you this bulletin, thank you for watching and good night.